I wonder what's on the mind of Jared Michaels here.
What you need, Champ?
Wait a minute.
What you need, Champ?
What's he doing?
He seems to be moving the ring, the guardrail.
Hey, what? Let me hold him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is on the mic.
I run this.
Yes, he does. Yes, 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 yes. I love it.
I run this.
Yes.
This is mine. Ratings just went up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my broadcast colleague has just been rendered unconscious. It's my show to call by myself with no distractions. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the 5-Star Jobbers Podcast. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry. I mean, I got knocked out at ringside at the desk. You're jumping up and down like a kid at Christmas. And
it was
hitting
exciting.
and hitting me with a shoe while I'm knocked out.
Okay, maybe the shoe was unnecessary.
Yeah, you think?
But it was exciting. I mean, the people cared. They were upset that you got punched in the face. Now, I mean, I wasn't. I thought it was hilarious. But I mean, come on. Like, pardon the pun. If the shoe was on the other foot, don't tell me.
Or lack thereof.
Don't tell me you wouldn't have, been a professional like I was a professional and continued the show as necessary. I mean, what would it have done for me to, I stop calling the action to check on you? I mean,
I would have hoped because I thought you were my friend.
I'm your friend, but we got a job to do. I can't
Regardless. For those of you that are listening, go back and watch on our social media and you'll see Jared Michaels getting a cheap shot at my expense. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm thankful to everyone that actually came and checked on me while I was unconscious.
Yes, very nice.
Everybody that came after the show to make sure I was okay. I appreciate all the concern for everybody that posted on social media and everything. I am going to talk to Skip and a bunch of other people, and I guarantee you that this will be taken care of in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, but all I can say is Jared Michaels is going to get what's coming to him, one way or another. It may not be from me, but it'll be from someone.
You better watch out, or you might make your teeth bounce around like dice in a Yahtzee game.
Regardless, I'm going to try and get through this episode as best I can with a sore jaw, but... Anyway, first of all, thank you to everyone.
Sore jaw, eh? I've gotten through a couple things with the sore jaw.
But anyway, I want to thank all of our listeners that have listened to us from day one and on now. If you're new to the podcast, go ahead and subscribe to everything that we've got. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that podcasts are streamed. We are also on YouTube. We have all of our commentary content on there as well as our second season of our podcast. I'm sorry, I'm still just shaking up from all of this. I've been taking painkillers trying to get rid of this. Thankfully, no teeth were lost. But anyway, we are on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're also going to be at some events this coming weekend and more to come as well, but I'm going to let you know of two specifically. First one, this weekend, June 29th, DCCW Heat Wave. We'll be there, and that's in McClenny, Florida at the Baker County Fairgrounds. The doors open at 5:30 and the bell time is at 6:30. Don't miss out on it. We're going to be there doing commentary as well. Hopefully, I won't get punched in the face there, but we'll see.
I mean, there's never any guarantees.
I mean, I've already gotten hit with a chair, but I'm going to try and
you've gotten slapped, you got chopped, you got hit with the chair.
What has this guy done?
Knocked. Well, the people love me. I mean, obviously... what's funny is that when you get hurt, our ratings go up. So, some people just connect with the fans, and I can't help it that I have, a darling personality that people are attracted to, and it doesn't.
Darling personality.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling it?
Any other alternative would be less gratifying to my ego.
Exactly. Don't want to bruise that any further.
No, not like your jaw.
But anyways, DCCW Heatwave, June 29th, Baker County Fairgrounds, McClenny, Florida. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is at 6:30. Also, the following weekend, we will be back at Guardians Legacy for Summer Explosion on July 6th. It'll be at the Rosenwald High School gym, as like before. Doors open at 6 and the bell time is at 7. Don't want to miss out on it. It's going to be a great event. There's going to be a lot of fun things happening there earlier on as well. They're going to be having a cookout. I think they're having a Foursquare tournament as well.
Oh,
it's going to be a huge event.
It's all kinds of activities. A lot of everything is family friendly, fun. I had a great, at a great price. And in today's world, I went to the grocery store for a day's worth of groceries and spent over $100.
Yeah.
So you can go to a legacy show, for $10 or $15. Kids are getting in free. And I gotta say, get your tickets quick because front row seats have already sold out for Summer Explosion on July 6th. So get your tickets as quick as possible. Even though the front row seats are sold out, there's
really not a bad seat.
There's really not a bad seat in the house. And like I said, the people who were sitting in the bleacher seats got a front row seat to this guy, basically doing his best Apollo Creed in Rocky IV. Just taking the hit and falling face down.
That's not going to happen again, though. So don't buy those kinds of tickets expecting that to happen again. I can promise you it won't happen again. But anyways, DCCW Heatwave, June 29th, and Guardians Legacy Summer Explosion, July 6th. Don't miss out on it. There's going to be some great action happening at both of these events. But we want to get into the episode. We've got a lot to cover this past week. More specifically on WWE side because there was so much that happened this week. And honestly, I feel like there's three main things that we can talk about. I don't want to spend a lot of time just because we're trying to keep it under an hour, but number one, we've definitely got to talk about the debut of the Wyatt Six.
Oh yeah. There are a couple debuts that will go down in history as just some of the best debuts of all time. To me, the debut of Kane at Bad Blood '97.
Yep.
During the Hell in the Cell match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker is still to this day like the lead up to Kane's debut and then Kane's debut. Chef's kiss. Couldn't have been done any better.
Yes.
I think the debut of Chris Jericho.
I was just about to say Chris Jericho. The Millennium Countdown. Was fantastic.
I think, and a lot of that has to do with how things happen afterwards. A debut is only as good as the follow up.
Right.
But the Wyatt Six debut, if the follow up is handled well, could very well go down as one of, if not the best debut of all time.
And it's like you said, it all depends on how they play it out afterwards. And I hope that Triple H stays true to how Bray Wyatt would have handled that faction or how he would have maintained those characters. But I'm hopeful that he will. Because,
I can't see why he wouldn't. At the end of the day, we all know that Bray Wyatt probably wouldn't have gotten the opportunities that he got in the first place if it wasn't for Triple H pushing for him. And, when Triple H got a little bit of creative control, Bray Wyatt was released. Triple H is the one who brought him back.
Right.
I think that it means a lot to Triple H. It means, obviously, a lot to the Rotunda family, not just Tyler or Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy. I think there's a lot of people. Obviously Eric Rowan. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who are they're not just invested in this because it's creative and because it's storyline. They're invested in this because they're invested in telling the story of that somebody that they loved wanted to tell.
Exactly.
So, and the fans get that. That's not lost on the WWE universe. Like I said, just because all the things are in the right place doesn't mean that they can't be screwed up. But with no Vince McMahon in the backseat, with a child's attention span.
The sky's the limit at this point.
Really, I mean, this is going to be one of those really. I mean, truthfully, this is going to be a make it or break it. This will tell you about the future of WWE.
Definitely
is how well they're able to take the ball and run with it. Full creative liberties and things like that. And for those of you who haven't, don't read the dirt sheets or anything like that, there's been a lot of conversation too about creative freedoms that are going to be increasing in the WWE as they move to Netflix. It recently came out. They've said that when they go to Netflix, Raw will no longer be PG.
Exactly.
The PG era is coming to an end. And we've all kind of seen it. Raw's gotten a little racier, so has SmackDown.
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever with that from this guy whatsoever. But, when I say they're no longer going to be on a broadcast channel where they're worrying so much about sponsors, they've got their money taken care of on the front end so they can focus purely on the creative aspect of the show and be a little bit more, free in where they draw the lines. That doesn't mean they're going to be stupid. I mean, obviously, guys like Triple H and Brian Gewirtz and the people that are in the back doing all of this amazing work. We're not talking about Vince Russo. We're not talking about Vince Russo's right now. We're not talking about Tony Khan's. We're not talking about bad bookers and writers who just. We talk about coloring within the lines, and we kind of sometimes we want to expand those lines to give us more room, but at the same time we don't need to fly off the pages.
Right.
So it was such a good debut, and we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, I just didn't know
So the fact that we all knew it was coming, but it still exceeded expectations.
That's what I said the entire time. Is whenever they first came out, and the entire segment from beginning to end superseded anything that I thought it would possibly go as. I mean, from the very first moment when Nikki Cross, spoiler, the one playing Sister Abigail's Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Then it goes all the way to, I believe, Eric Rowan as Ramblin' Rabbit. Mm-hmm. And then you get Dexter Loomis as Mercy the Buzzard.
Yep.
Then you get Joe Gacy as is it Husk the pig? It's something to do with Husky Harris.
The closest thing I can see because of the pig resemblance that it would have to be
Huskus.
Huskus. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I would guess that's the closest, but it's not exactly Huskus. It's everything is. You can see where it's coming from, but they've elaborated. They've built off on it.
Exactly.
Ramblin' Rabbit doesn't just look like Ramblin' Rabbit. Eric Redbeard's not just wearing a rabbit's hat. There's more to it.
It's an adaptation.
And one of the things you look at Eric Rowan's outfit,
he also has as well.
He has allusions to his times with John Huber,
more famously known as Brody Lee or Luke Harper.
Yeah, and the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
So
if you go back and watch the video, watch whenever they first go around in Gorilla and they show up on Eric Rowan. Look at the back of his mask, and you'll see the mask that him and Brody Lee wore as the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yep. And then also there's the hammer.
I tried to hold it in for the podcast, but I couldn't. I had to sneeze.
Oh yeah. I try to hold in a lot of things and I can't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you can't smell. You can't smell over the radio, or the podcast. You can't see what I'm putting in his way. He's usually quite professional about, but today.
No, trust me. Whenever we do road trips, it's a lot worse.
Yeah, I like to put the child locks on the windows so there's no,
He's a filthy, filthy man. But anyways, I mean, it was everything that we thought it was going to be and then some, and I'm super excited to see how these characters build storylines in with the Wyatt Six, but also how they fare against the competition now in WWE. Because, I mean, Nikki Cross is going to be incredible in the women's division. She's going to be a much more formidable force now than she was prior to. Yeah,
because I think what we're going to get with Nikki Cross is we're going to get a more not cultured, but a more well cultivated version of probably the Nikki Cross that we got when she first came in with, her first, what we call it, dark or enigmatic stable.
Yeah. Which I so wish that they would bring that group back, because I loved Sanity.
I thought Sanity was absolutely fantastic, but Sanity is an exact example of something that under the Triple H umbrella thrived, got over, and then Vince McMahon tore to pieces.
Exactly.
Just like the Wyatt family itself, the same thing. But I think we'll see Nikki Cross in a very similar role of disturbed, not always mentally there, but obviously you could see, she's not all like, and with Sanity, it's all speed and it's all, very fast and, just a very erratic person.
Yeah, with her, it's going to be a lot more controlled and methodical.
Yeah, I think we're going to see methodical, but still off, still crazy, still
like methodical chaos, I guess is the best way you can put it. But
and that's the way you need to be, because a crazed lunatic, or like I say, if you go back to like comic books and stuff like that, a bad guy who's always going to do bad guy things is predictable, and therefore he's easy to catch.
Right.
He's easy to frustrate or take care of.
Yeah.
But a bad guy who plays the long game, a bad guy who has patience, who doesn't always do the crazy thing, but sometimes does things that are very sane.
Yeah.
But seemingly, that's the one that is the most dangerous. Like in the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
When he sits there and he talks about, I'm just, I'm a dog chasing its tail. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught. He says it because exactly that. A dog chasing his tail, nobody's intimidated of that. But that's not what he was.
Right.
He's an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
And, you couldn't just expect him to do just the most chaotic thing, because sometimes you do something that makes no sense at all until later. And I think with Nikki Cross, if she can pull that off, that's going to, like I said, I don't really know that there's ever been a female that's done a character like that.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting to see. And then you've got Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy, which honestly,
I think it's a tag team.
Yeah, that's going to be your tag team, unless they go a different route and have Eric Rowan as part of it. But either way they go,
I don't think Rowan's going to be a tag team. I think one of the fact of the matter, John Huber's not with him.
Yeah.
Brody Lee or Luke Harper that was his tag team partner.
Yeah.
His tag team partner, rest in peace. This is an opportunity for Eric Rowan, whatever they're going to call him, whether they call him Eric Robin or Ramblin' Rabbit or some, whatever they're going to call him. I think this is the opportunity for him to be the sole enforcer of the group. I think he needs to not even necessarily be in wrestling matches. He just interferes and manhandles anyone who gets in the Wyatt Six's way.
Definitely. And then, of course, you've got Uncle Howdy, and he'll be the one that will pretty much... I don't know if he'll be world champion, but he'll definitely go for, like, Intercontinental champion or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I don't even know with this stable that you need them to have any championships. Once again, we're talking about being an agent of chaos. With Bray Wyatt, like, winning the title was, like, never a pivotal part of his story.
Right.
And with Uncle Howdy, I think we'll see maybe a couple of matches, but he doesn't need to be wrestling weekly, monthly.
No.
Like, it needs to be very, very, very special.
Yeah. That's kind of like how they book The Fiend, per se. Like, they have all the vignettes and everything,
with
the Firefly Funhouse and all that, and then just booking it like that. And I know a lot of people will say, well, that makes no sense. Like, why would you only have them book, like, once every 2 months or so? It's like, because they can do that.
Because that's how you build anticipation and hype.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, we live in a world of constant gratification, and we live in a world where there's over 10 hours of broadcasted professional wrestling every week.
Yeah.
I mean, go back to the 50s and 60s where there was one event every 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, now people are wanting that quick gratification, but it's like, no, let things build over time and let's like work up to this. It's like when you watch a TV series, like you don't get to the finale just 2 episodes in. It takes time. There's stories that have to develop. There's things that have to build in order for us to get to that point.
Yep. Yeah. No, the good storytelling builds anticipation. Now the balance is not taking too long to where it loses the audience's attention.
Right.
But I don't. Based on the way they did things on Monday night, I don't see the Wyatt Six losing people's attention. And
not for a long time.
No, I think this. It's going to be very interesting. The question is where do they go? Like obviously, like I said, agents of chaos. But like I said, they have to have a long-term plan, because if they're just agents of chaos, like I say, running around like a dog trying to chase its tail, it won't work well. They have to have an overarching storyline. They have to have they do. They have to have a goal.
Well, I mean, if you watch some of the clips and everything, or if you watch their debut, there was a few superstars that you could see that was laid out from this attack. I mean, of course, the most obvious one was Chad Gable, Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman makes more sense than Chad Gable. The Chad Gable one, it's like I think they zoomed in and it was very like they took the time to make that shot. So obviously there's value to it,
right? But
that one, I say racking my brain for the week of trying to figure out exactly where that goes. Why him? Why he was featured? Because to me, I would think that Braun Strowman being featured would make more sense, because Braun has the relationship with the Wyatt family. Braun was a turncoat.
Right.
So it would make sense to me that he would be one of the first targets of the Wyatt Six.
And then I think Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough were part of that attack as well.
I think
I think Carmelo Hayes was a part of that list as well.
Yeah.
And then Gunther.
Was Gunther there?
I think so. I don't know if I read that correctly or not, but I think he was part of it as well. So
okay,
there's a bunch of people that they included in that you could go a bunch of different ways with, and there's your storylines right there.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, like how do you build one with Chad Gable? Like you said, Braun Strowman makes more sense. Gunther, I mean, yeah, he's this unstoppable individual who
makes no sense. Gunther it doesn't really make any sense. But that doesn't mean they can't. They can definitely take story and make it make sense.
Right.
To me, what I don't want to see is I don't want to see just a pure vengeance tour.
No, and I don't think that's the way it's going to be.
I don't think that's the way it's going to be either. But let's say like the Braun Strowman, like it wouldn't make sense if they just completely ignored it and didn't go anywhere from it. But like at the same time, like I said, there needs to be an overarching goal, and it doesn't need to be something that we know about. Tonight as we're recording this,
right.
Raw's going. It's not something we need to know immediately.
I apologize for everybody that's listening right now, but I can't help it. I'm sniffling and sneezing and everything right now. I got a runny nose. I can't help it.
The punch knocked something loose.
Yeah, I think it did.
But no, yeah, the enigmatic, like it needs to be enigmatic, but understandable.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, never to speak contrary of the dead, but like sometimes with Bray's stories, he was always enigmatic, but from time to time, the Bray Wyatt character would be enigmatic, but not relatable.
Right.
And not always understandable. Like, you didn't always understand what his goal was.
Yeah.
Like, was his goal to be the champion? Was his goal to change?
And maybe that was the goal behind it, is that he didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want people to know his every move. Like, he did things without understanding.
Yeah, and I get you.
To the people that are not, I guess, associated with him in some way, or like, I don't know how I was trying to word that, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, like I said, there's so many ways this group can go. Like, honestly, it's just like it's a pit of despair of all the things that this could do, and so that's what makes it exciting. We're going to go into Monday Night Raw, and especially for guys like you and me, and for people who, probably a lot of people who watch our show who are longtime wrestling fans and have seen all kinds of different stories play out. And sorry, it can get predictable.
Yeah.
To have something that we're not 100% sure where it's going or how it's going to go or what the next step's going to be. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this past week was evidence of that.
Yeah, and to do stuff like that in the modern age where, somebody farts in the left direction, it's on the internet 5 seconds later. To be able to, like I said, it wasn't a surprise that they were there, but the
delivery, the surprise.
Yeah, the delivery, and just like I said, we don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say I'm super excited, but we'll see more. We'll talk more.
Exactly.
On to the next.
So we move from that to the debut of the newest member of the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu.
The Samoan Wolverine.
I think werewolf.
Werewolf, Wolverine, dude, he's Umaga and Haku wrapped up in the perfect ball.
Definitely.
Like, I've loved Jacob Fatu's work for a long time, and just like I said with Tamatonga and Tongaloa, I never really saw their style as a WWE style, and obviously the WWE style is changed under the new Paul Levesque era.
Yeah. Which I love it.
I'm loving it because, like I said, it's not predictable. It's new. Like, maybe one day it will become predictable, but right now it's just everything is so new, and just everything that they do reeks of opportunity.
Yes.
And of awesomeness.
Exactly.
Totally reeks of awesomeness.
Wait, is that a cue for like a
5 seconds?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All
right. We got it out of our system.
So,
all of you that are listening, you missed out on that.
But Jacob Fatu and let's say also Tongaloa and Tamatonga, these guys have very different styles than what the WWE is used to.
Right.
And they're very different. Like, this bloodline now, this bloodline 2.0 is its own separate entity.
Yes.
It's not just like a regurgitated, like they're carrying it out too long. Like, you worried about that with the bloodline. Like, what are they going to do next? This is going to get stale if they don't break the group up. No, it's a completely different group.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Jacob Fatu, and he did on night one something that you've never seen a guy his size do.
Yeah.
We've seen, Seth Rollins, we've seen Shane McMahon, we've seen Ricochet, we've seen Logan Paul, we've seen a lot of acrobatic wrestlers go from post to the announcer's table, but you've never seen a 300+ Samoan fly onto the announcer's table, and then
it was insane, absolutely insane. Sorry, I got another one. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I can't help it.
Me neither.
But anyway, yeah. Now with the addition of Jacob Fatu, and here's the only thing I'll say: there's been rumors and things going around that they're going to be changing Solo's name to Caesar Sikoa.
That would be the dumbest idea
That
ever.
would be the equivalent of Vince changing Walter's name to Gunther.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
It's like, why? Like, we all know him as Solo Sikoa. Why would you want to change his name to Caesar?
Caesar means, Caesar, it's a romantic empirical ruler. But at the end of the day, that would be an overshot to me.
Yeah, definitely. I just hope that it doesn't actually happen.
But yeah, now that we have Jacob Fatu, like I said, we have a very dominant force. Solo has his ring. He has his ring of thugs and gangsters who make him dangerous.
Yep.
And what we also have now too is we have the definitely younger generation. Not necessarily actually younger, but the non-established generation of Samoans in the WWE universe.
Yep.
Because they're definitely, these guys were very well established outside of the WWE universe. But of course, if we're taking things only through the lens of what the standard WWE who only watches WWE fan knows they're learning about these guys. But one of the things I love about Triple H's booking is making things that have nothing to do with one storyline help the other storyline.
Yeah.
So like SmackDown happens, they had the Wyatt 6 debut on Raw, and all you hear about on SmackDown is the Wyatt 6 gonna debut on Raw, and Nick Aldis has to get extra security to make sure that everybody's protected from the Wyatt 6. It's Wyatt 6 this, Wyatt 6 that. Nobody's talking about the Bloodline. Nobody's talking about somebody new debuting in the Bloodline.
Yeah,
it is all about the Wyatt 6, and everybody is tuned in because after what happened on Raw, you're like, okay, I've got to see what happens next. So you like people who may not even watch SmackDown regularly, probably watch SmackDown on Friday night because they wanted to see what would happen next. And in past WWE, they would take hype like that, and then you would follow up with a nothing episode.
Right.
Like the ratings would be good because people were excited, but as the show went on, the ratings would dip because people would realize, oh, nothing's going to happen for probably another couple episodes now.
Right.
No, what he did, what Triple H did, first of all, they had the Wyatt 6 on Monday, and it built up the hype for Friday. Second of all, we're in Chicago. We are in one of the hottest wrestling markets in the United States. And Chicago is full of nothing but smart mark fans who are also big fans of bad guys.
Yeah.
And you also did, like, CM Punk's going to be there, da-da-da-da. Like, everything is fever pitch. And you debut a guy like Jacob Fatu, who the Chicago Smart Mark fans know.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like you're going into some market that's pure WWE and they're very light, like they're fans, but they're not like the rabid fans.
Yeah.
Where like a Jacob Fatu would be met with nothing but, who is that?
It's like, wait, who's this?
No. That they knew, okay, we're going to debut this guy in a market that he is going to be well known.
Yep.
And we're going to do it in a period where all eyes are going to be on this show. The CM Punk being there with the Wyatt 6 teases and everything like that. They set that segment up for success beautifully.
Yes.
And it paid off because, let's say, Jacob Fatu, all he had to do was do the things that he does all the time.
Exactly.
And by the way, too, Jacob Fatu got shredded.
Yeah.
Like, Jacob Fatu's big. He's still big. But if you go back and watch MLW just months ago, he's a big guy and he's very athletic and he moves fantastically. But just a couple months ago, he was not nearly as tone cut, lean as he is now. I mean, he's still big.
He is shredded.
But he is shredded compared to what he was just a few months ago. So, like, I mean, everything they're doing, it's just that much more crisp.
Yeah.
And like I said, they made everything they're doing is making other things better. So that, I mean, like I said, Jacob Fatu's debut, I mean, if it wasn't for the Wyatt 6, that'd be all I'm talking about right now. But like literally, this is a week where it's like
there's so much to talk about.
It's an abundance of riches.
Right. And it's like I said, I mean, we try and keep it all under an hour, but I mean, with this week of wrestling, it's hard to just talk about one thing and just keep it at that.
With this week of wrestling, it's hard. Period.
Exactly. You're nasty.
The table just lifted
You're
a couple inches.
Filthy man.
I'm a filthy, filthy man, but the table lifted a couple inches.
But anyway.
No blue chew needed here, ladies and gentlemen. Just good quality professional wrestling.
Anyway, trying to move on here. Now it's time for some high spots and botches.
No, it's not yet. We still have another thing to talk about.
That's right.
Good Lord.
Like, I'm trying to keep this thing under an hour, okay? We're trying to take up too much time.
I'm trying to keep this thing under the table.
Anyway.
Listen.
So, we've got one more thing to talk about. So, with all the hype building around the Wyatt 6 debut, when you see the segment on SmackDown where the garage door in the parking area opens, like, and the lights are flashing and everything, and it's shaking, and you think, they're about to debut on SmackDown. And then it lifts, and you see CM Punk in a bloody mess, and Drew McIntyre standing over him. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest, probably the best swerve.
Well, yeah. Once again, it was teasing the Wyatt 6 stuff to get all eyes on a segment that had nothing to do with the Wyatt 6. really get the juice out of everything you're doing. And that CM Punk promo to start the show, dude, I mean, like, the promos between Punk and McIntyre, you keep wondering, like, at what point are they going to lose steam? Like, they don't. They just,
I don't think they can.
They're eviscerating each other, and it's amazing. And so it's like we see a beaten, bloody CM Punk, but we still haven't seen the come to blows yet. Like, we haven't gotten that yet. You're like, yes,
it's
essentially
like
they've touched.
It's a slow build up to that culmination at some point. How it's going to get there, we don't know, but we're just buckled in and enjoying the ride right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, and so, and it's like a chess game. Okay? Punk, once again, at Clash at the Castle, screws Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre swerves, does what he does, and this is also really smart writing too. On Monday night, Drew McIntyre quits and walks out of the arena before any of the Wyatt 6 stuff goes down. So there's a complete written reason for why Drew McIntyre wasn't involved in any of the Wyatt 6 stuff. And then he comes back on SmackDown, and like I said, we have the Wyatt 6 teasing and anticipation, and it's not Wyatt 6, it's Drew McIntyre absolutely bludgeoning CM Punk and coming, dropping him out, like, on the ramp, doing, everything they're doing with Drew McIntyre. You've got both guys that are, neither one is a good guy. What I love about this, neither one of them is a face and neither one of them is a heel. They're both acting heelish, like, truthfully, but they're both, you can justify their frustration. Yeah. Like, I love CM Punk's and I hate this, I hate the Chicago pandering because I'm just not a Chicago guy, sorry. But I do respect what he says. I love seeing, there's 3 things I can do. I can lay down and die. That's not an option. I can get up and turn the other cheek, but I'm from Chicago, so that's not an option. Right. And then, or I can get up and you put me in the hospital, I'll put you in the morgue or in the grave. Yeah. I just love that. Like that's that statement of everything you do to me,
I'm going to do to you tenfold.
I'm going to return to you tenfold. Yeah. And I think that's that's such an important line, I think, in his promo. Like, so Drew just made his move. Now we get to wait and see what the next move from CM Punk's going to be. And it's not going to be this week. No. It's going to be maybe Money in the Bank. Oh, yeah. There's going to be some time.
He's playing a game of chess right now, and he's about to pull off one of the biggest checkmates, probably.
Yep, and that's what I'd say. At the end of the day, whatever happens next will probably put us into that checkmate. No more SummerSlam is boom, and we're going to figure out where that goes, how that goes, but we just get to wait and see.
Exactly. All right, now it's time for some high spots and botches. So, honestly, high spot for me is just WWE as a whole this week.
Everything WWE did this week was,
I couldn't pick anything in particular.
And the low spot was AEW.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I think we can both agree, like, WWE was the high spot for this week. Yep. AEW, you got MJF back.
What are you doing with it? And they had the match between MJF and Roosh. And nothing against Roosh, but MJF comes back and you guys are losing in the ratings to NXT. And you're gonna do MJF versus Roosh.
Granted, NXT had a pretty good debut happen as well.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I'm in London, in Paris, in Tokyo.
Okay, we probably don't need to go too far. We don't want to get demonetized.
In Canada.
We don't want to get demonetized. We probably need to stop.
In Mexico.
Okay, all right.
Singing, I believe in Joe Hendry. All right.
Okay, sorry. Had to get it out of our system. But anyway, I will say the only downside of that whole week was I cannot stand Ethan Page's entrance music. I hate it.
I told you. Whoever is doing entrance music for WWE sucks. Yeah. Fire. That's the one weakness in your game right now. Bring back the CFO or
Money
Money Signer.
CFO.
They
bring back
were
Jim
awesome.
Johnson. Bring back those kind of guys.
Like Jim Johnson is great, but Jim Johnson has had a long career. Like, let the man be retired. But like the people who are responsible for Glorious, the people who are responsible for Finn Balor's, and the Demon entrance, the people who are responsible for Nakamura's entrance.
Yes.
Like, come on.
But you can do better.
Yeah. The current musical team that's putting together entrances, it sucks.
It's like, well, let's take what their catchphase is. Oh, let's take what their name is.
Just take their name.
Just put it in there.
Yep.
Just like ego, kill him with a smile. I'm like, it's so stupid.
Like,
so stupid.
like case
Love
in point,
Ethan Page. Hate his entrance song.
Love Ethan Page. Hate this entrance. And like case in point for this one too. Look at DIY. DIY's current music versus what they had in NXT.
Oh gosh, it's horrible.
The music that's the one thing that's just absolutely awful right now. Is if you're a wrestler right now, you have to think like, maybe I should wait to debut with WWE until I can get a different musical composer, because I don't want to get straddled with some absolute
unless you've got something outside like Joe Hendry or CM Punk that you can use like that.
You can bring in, like Cody didn't get screwed by it because he had his own music when he came.
Yeah, he had Down Straight, so he already had that taken care of.
Yep.
But yeah, just WWE as a whole this week was just fantastic. Even with NXT and AEW's they're missing the mark. And then honestly, because I'm not. And
they're doing this. They're continuing to just do the same thing. They're not fixing anything.
No,
they're not changing anything. They're just like the case in point on Collision. The bringing in Ultimo Guerrero. Not announced, not hyped up, not explained.
That's the thing I can't stand is that they do these matches, but there's no build up. There's no reason as to why.
There's no reason as to why.
And there's hardly any stakes involved.
And then the same thing too is like you're constantly bringing in these new people from these other promotions that aren't mainstays in your promotion.
Well, and
then you're not using people that are in your promotion that are signed to you that are somewhat over with the crowd. Like, when's the last time you've seen Ricky Starks?
I can't remember.
Exactly.
Well, a case in point about promoting stuff and like hyping stuff up. Did you even know the Owen Hart tournament was going on?
I knew about it because of graphics on Facebook and social media.
Exactly. Like, they haven't done hardly anything other than that one segment where Tony Storm on Dynamite like a week or two ago announced that Mariah May was going to be in the tournament. And then she does her famous catchphrase, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah, no. And like I said, that which we've been big fans of, it's becoming stale because there's no purpose. There's no, there's no underlying conflict. Like this whole build up between with Mariah May and Tony Storm. We all know that they're going to turn on each other at some point. Like, either do it and make it count, or don't do it at all and figure something else out to do that's entertaining or that has purpose.
Yeah,
because
honestly, I'm not even because I know Forbidden Door's coming up soon. I don't even know hardly any of the matches that's going to be happening there, other than the fact that MJF is going against what's his name? It's not. Is it Hichiro?
Exactly.
It's something like that.
Exactly. Then, it's not a name that we're going to sit there and guffaw over. Like, MJF is back. And is MJF taking on Adam Cole? No. Is MJF taking on Swerve? No. Is MJF taking on Samoa Joe, who he has every reason storyline-wise to take on because Samoa Joe screwed him over.
Yeah.
Adam Cole screwed him over. Swerve has his title. There's so many people that there is a story for MJF to sink his teeth into. And right now, the last match we've had is MJF versus Roosh.
It makes no sense.
Like I said, it's a good match. They're good talents, but without story. And we're just booking randomly. This is like when you played video games on like WWE SmackDown.
Yep.
And you would finish the storyline. Like, they used to have like this on the old games. Like, you could finish the storyline, but you could keep wrestling. But at that point, there wasn't a storyline. So like it was just a randomized match card.
Yep.
That's what AEW is. It's the end of the career mode in early 2000s WWE games.
Yep.
That is just literally randomized matches generated by a computer and then spewed out.
Yep. It makes no sense.
I can't come up with a better metaphor than that.
Yeah. Hopefully something comes up soon? Because, I mean, is it All In London that's going to be coming up next?
I mean, All in London is going to come in around like what, September, October-ish?
Something like that.
I mean, they've got some time before All In, but I mean, at the end of the day, they only have so much more time before they're all out of TV broadcasters who want to
like what you did there.
host a show that gets less than 800,000 viewers on a weekly basis and gets 2 hours of TV time.
Yeah. I don't understand it, but yeah, WWE is just absolutely crushing it right now, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon whatsoever. But anyway, guys, that's been our episode for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Like we said before, we're on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can see all of our content on YouTube from our commentary episodes and from just doing season 2 episodes of the podcast. Also, let you guys know again, upcoming events that we have going on. We have Guardians Legacy and DCCW. DCCW is this weekend. DCCW Heatwave is June 29th, this Saturday at the Baker County Fairgrounds in McClenny, Florida. Doors open at 5:30. The bell time is at 6:30. Guardians Legacy Summer Explosion is July 6th at Rosenwald High School Gym in Panama City, Florida. Doors open at 6 and the bell time is at 7. 2 weekends in a row. We're going to be doing commentary. We're excited. Things are going to be great, and we hope to see you all there. Hope to see you there taking in all these incredible events. But like we always say, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. But as always, keep it 5 stars.